not like you can look up the yeast to see, what it likes and that kind of thing.
Well, and when you do it post-fermentation, there's nothing that says you have to do a 50-50 blend. Mix them, taste different ratios till you get at the one you want.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
That's usually a good little experiment. You sit there with 10 different glasses in front of you trying them. You just got to make your decision quick before all the mead kicks in.
Yeah.
And then your judgment becomes weird.
We did that with an experimental that Brad was doing over at Meadmaker, and he dragged me into the lab, and we did this tasting, and it was a blend of two different things, and there was like an 80-20, a 60-40, a 50-50, a 40-60, and a 20-80, all the way across the board, and we tasted all of them and decided which one was going to be the route they were going to go with the blending that they were planning. And it was really interesting, because it gave you a kind of the full gamut of what was possible. So which was
and
the
it's
one?
Fun.
Which was the yeah exactly, and like you say, make your decision quick.
Oh, maybe we need to start all over again. I don't remember now.
All right, let's do this
again. Yeah. Taking notes, writing down on a piece of paper what glass is what is really important, because once you get confused and you got to start again. Never good.
Then things go downhill fast from there.
A really interesting taste calibration thing that Steve did with us was triangle test, where you've got 2 glasses of one mead and 1 glass of another. Can you pick the different one? And that's a really good calibration exercise when you're doing stuff like that. And what he did was, it was opaque glasses and he put stickers on the bottom.
Okay.
So then, you figured, did you figure out the answer? Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'll pick up 2 cups with one hand and the 1 cup that I think is different with the other hand, and have a look underneath. And apparently, the way he found it was all of the people who made mead got everyone right, and all of the people who did beer and wine tastings and didn't make meads didn't get all of them right.
Interesting.
So I should get half right then, since I do all of it.
Well, you do make. I think the kicker was whether or not you did make mead, and if you do, you get them all right.
Oh, okay.
That's telling. That it would be like that. So, have you got any favorite recipes you make over and over again?
There's, and it's actually a really easy one. My blackcurrant blackberry. It's either blackcurrant blackberries or with red raspberries. And I can't get blackcurrants here. I mean, they don't grow here. They're insanely expensive to have shipped in. So I always end up using the Vintner's Harvest wine base for that. And then I use fresh fruit. I use that in the primary, and then about 10 pounds of fresh fruit in the secondary. About 15 pounds of honey, and it's big, it's a little boozy. It's huge fruit forward, and I absolutely love it. That one I usually have going all the time, and I usually keep it on tap, so it's a little bit carbonated. And having meat on tap is not a great idea, because it's way too easy. Just to walk up and pour a glass. There's a little guilt involved in opening a bottle, but just pulling the tap, it's a little easy.
Yeah, that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to be concerned about if you've got young kids.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Or not
Tap
so
lock.
young kids, because, Dad will never know if I've taken this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that. Yeah, you can't measure the levels if their levels are hidden. I'm surprised Manny's daughters haven't figured that out yet. You're not supposed to divulge those secrets. Might want to just stop
some of us
right
are
now.
actually good kids. Some of us are actually good kids who didn't touch the alcohol when our parents told us not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't touch it, but they know how to work it, because they taught me one.
I was not one of those kids.
Neither was my brother.
Yeah, Manny's actually got a keg of stout like in his beer cooler, and he's got
kegs of mead too.
Oh God, yeah, he's got a whole system built into his garage. It's hilarious.
And the girls are great. They go and get you a fresh one. You don't even have to get up to get your mead. It's
Yeah.
But yeah, when they decide they like it, I hate to think what he's going to have to do to cope with that.
Well, you just make it a matter-of-fact thing. You don't make a big stupid deal out of it. You want some? Okay. You can have a little, under supervision. Do it like the Europeans do. If you're old enough to ask for it, you're old enough to drink it, but don't get drunk.
Yeah, that was kind of the route we took with my daughter, because she was tasting my meads when she was 5, and...
Yeah, I mean, I was drinking my dad's beer on his knee when I was, 2, so...
Yeah.
I blame him for me liking blue.
My little boy learnt better when he asked me for a drink, and I gave him a sip of my Shiraz wine that I was drinking.
Oh, yeah.
And the tannins all stuck to his mouth and everything. He never asked me for another drink again. He's like, oh, adult drink? No.
That's the way to do it. Give them something they'll hate. Like, here's a really oaky Chardonnay, son. Try this.
Well, I made bread with my nephews, and we used dealcoholized beer as a base, so I gave them each a little sip of it, and one of them liked it and one of them didn't. The nephews, so we just... I told my brother which one, so he'd know which one to watch for.
Scott, do you have kids?
I have a daughter, but she has kids, so...
Right. She's obviously mine's grown and has
she's
a kid.
No longer my worry. She can drink what she wants. So.
Yeah, same here. Mine's grown and has a kid of her own now, so she's not my problem anymore. She's, married. But, yeah, I mean, growing up, though, it was interesting, because were you making... No, let me see. Yours is... How old is yours? Were you making mead before yours was grown?
She's 32, yeah. She was, I was making mead, but when I was brewing in the house, then she hated the smell so bad. She had every window in the house open and 300 candles lit to keep the smell out, because she couldn't stand it. I'm sitting there with my face down in the pot, inhaling every bit of it I could. I like the smell so much.
Besides, if you stop watching it, it boils over anyway. Everybody knows that.
So it's best to just keep sniffing.
Just keep smelling and watching it, because the moment you take your eyes off it to go, hey, honey, could you... Crap.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that's
exactly... I think she was probably off to college when I started making mead, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine was little when I started making mead, and so she was my taste tester.
Mm-hmm.
And kids' palates are so clean, so sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're honest.
Oh, gosh, they are. Yeah, brutally so. Mommy, this tastes like pee. Okay, honey, I'll fix it.
Yeah, they won't be polite about it.
Love you too.
Really...
Go to bed.
Yeah. Isn't it past your bedtime? Don't you need to be somewhere? Don't you have homework?
I'm concerned that your 5-year-old knew what pee tasted like.
Who knows what kids do,
Uh-huh.
Try not to think about it. I know some of the things I did as a kid. Yeah, you can't watch them every
24 hours.
Exactly. And if they don't get dirty and, get cut up and, and all those things, then they're not really kids.
And they don't learn how to cope.
Yeah. Can't wrap them in bubble wrap. Well, you can try, but it won't work.
Well, you can do it just for fun, but you better take it off soon.
Well, yeah, you have to take it off sooner or later. Child Protective Services comes along and takes your kid away. So.
They like popping it too much.
I can't even think of, if they knew how many times she tasted my mead when I was making it as she was growing up, I'd had her taken away so many times by them.
Oh, hell yeah. You guys are so precious about that, too.
Oh, alcohol to minors. Yeah, they're really stiff-necked about it here. It's stupid.
Alcohol in general.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on. The country's founded by a bunch of Puritans who turned into a bunch of prohibitionists, so do the math. They thought that they could just ban alcohol after everybody had already had it. It's like, yeah, no, that's not going to work.
It's like being a born-again virgin. It just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. So what were some of the... Sorry, we're going off on so many tangents. It's not funny. This is different from any other show. So what techniques did you learn? Okay, you started out with the learning not to boil thing, but as you went through there, what techniques really revolutionized your mead making? Everybody's ears are all tuned in real tight now. You watch.
No, I mean, the staggered nutrient, for one, I think degassing is huge. I degas once a day for like the first, 8 days. I read about people, degassing 3-4 times a day. I've never done that. If I've got a big fruit cap, I might punch it down twice a day. I almost think some people are hands-on a little too much, and, I think it's feel. You got to learn what's the right amount. I don't want to tell someone don't do something, then if they do it, it turns out wrong. You have to figure those things out for yourself. The staggered nutrient addition was just, that was revolutionary. It
really was.
You were there when that came about. It's like,
oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, you're going from aging a mead 2 years to drinking it in 2 months.
Yeah.
On some of them. And it was so funny when it first came out. I was somewhere and there was an argument about if the meads made with the staggered nutrient held up as long and if they aged as well as the ones with the previous method. And Steve Piat says, well, what the hell do I care? I can have another one in 2 months.
Yeah.
What do I care, if this thing ages and holds up for 2 years, I can just make more. And that's kind of my process. I don't think I have a mead here that's in my house that's 2 years old. I make my meads, I drink my meads, and if I need more, I make more. I never make them with the thought that I'm going to put them away to age them. If there is something longer than 2 years, it's stuck in the back of a box that I don't know about. Now I've got a Polish mead that I got a recipe from Marek on. I imagine that one might sit a little longer than those, but and I got some tips from him. But and I'm not saying the people that make this up, they want to age. I'm not saying they're wrong. This is just what I do. I drink my mead that won Meadmaker of the Year. I think was barely over 6 months old. Most of my meads are well under a year that I'm drinking.
Yeah, who wants to wait that long, huh?
Yeah.
And maybe I should try aging them, but I just drink them too soon.
Well, I think it's fun. I usually try to hold back a bottle or two of every batch to lay it down and see what happens.
Oh, I try that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Doesn't work, huh?
No. I was up at Kurt Stock's one time, and there was a box that was taped shut, and it said, do not open this box, especially if it's after midnight, even if Kurt says it's okay. When he was trying to save, but everyone would be at his house and drinking. Oh, well, let's try this. Let's tape shot. Well, cut that out, And, he ended up putting a note on that one because he really wanted to save that. And, I should try that, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
I just put the stuff I want to save in the shelf behind the water heater because I have to climb over a table to get to it. So you have to pass the dex check to get there.
The only aged mead I have is it's about 5 years old and is the oldest, but I have various bottles. But the only aged mead I have is bad mead. It's aged because I don't want to drink it.
Well, I should say that I do have a braggot around that about once a year I try and go, yep, it's still shitty. And at some point I should just dump the rest of the case and be done with it. But
well, I've got 2 bottles of the Merlot left, which was a Chambourcin Merlot grape. I picked Chambourcin grapes, and then I bought a Merlot wine kit, and threw away the kit part, just kept the juice.
Yeah.
And combined those and made them into a piment. And I want to say I did that with Star Thistle, but I'd have to go look at my notes. But it's like 12 years old. And I've got a couple bottles of it left, and it's sweet, and so it's sweeter than at the time. It was the kind of sweet I liked. My taste had drifted more towards medium sweet now, so semi-sweet is really more where my
Mhm.
taste buds live these